Welcome to the Well Life. Today we're going to talk about the mind, body, and home connection. Most people get the mind-body connection, but they don't realize that the home is a sacred space that houses the body. So if you're looking to live your best life and allow more health, wealth, and vitality in, then it's just as important to look at how your home is helping you or maybe blocking your flow. Valerie Sorrentino is a sacred self-care specialist and community founder, vision board mentor, restorative yogi beginner specialist, and she offers life energy boutique healing services, feng shui, and even does space clearing so you can allow more good to come into your home and in your life. She's passionate about helping you achieve mind, body, and home balance. She understands the intricate connections between your mind, body, and living space, harnessing the power of light energy and flow to clear the accumulation of stagnation for positive change to occur. So if you are feeling a bit stuck, overwhelmed, or just ready for positive change in your life, you won't want to miss this episode. Let's grow. Welcome to The Well Life, a podcast dedicated to embracing all aspects of healthy living. Going beyond diet and fitness, we'll cover a broad spectrum of wellness, bringing together the best in holistic living and mindful practices so you can create a well-rounded approach to a healthier lifestyle. If you're someone who wants to be healthy and you feel like you've tried everything, but you know you aren't living your best life, or that there is something better out there for you, I'm here to tell you there is. It's a life full of choices you never knew you had. This isn't about losing weight. It's about discovering that you are in control of what you get to bring into your home and into your life. I invite you to join the Well Life. I'm your host, Sheila Alston, and I'm founder of a goodwill marketing company called Healthy Home Media. We publish wellness lifestyle magazines to help connect local wellness business with wellness-focused real estate agents who can be your connector for everything home. So stay tuned because each episode is unique and jam-packed with insightful tips to help you enjoy the well life. Let's grow. Hey, I'm so excited that you're here today on the show. Today I have a Valerie here, and she's with omvalerie.com. She's a life energy consultant, and I'm super excited to talk to her because today we're going to discuss the mind, body, and home connection. I think a lot of people don't realize that they are connected, and so let's talk about it. Welcome, Valerie.
Hello, thank you. Thank you for having me today, Sheila.
Yeah, so I'm just so intrigued because we did have a conversation before this, and you have so much that I'm interested in learning about.
Mm.
Can you tell me a little bit about how you think of the mind, body, and home connection? Maybe before you do that, tell us a little bit about how you got started in this field and how you help.
Okay, great question. Because the mind, body, and home connection is something that I find it's something that we can't avoid. It's innate, it's here, it's there. So I can't wait to dive in. But a long time ago, when I was just an early mom, I had little children, and once in a while I would have the TV on, and it was rare that I'd watch daytime TV. It was mostly turned off, but saw this segment, and it was about putting things in proper placement so that certain things came into your life. And I was like, what did they say? And I didn't know what it was. I had no idea what it was. Never heard of it. And so I turned off the TV. There was nothing more. And I kept thinking, what were they talking about? So I went to the bookstore way back when in the 90s. And I said to the bookstore guy, and I said, can you help me find a book? What's the title? I don't know the title. What's the author? I don't know the author. What's the topic? I said, I think it's something like schwa schwa or shui shui schwa. And he goes, are you talking about feng shui? I said, that is, I think so. And that's when it started. And I was very fascinated. I was just fascinated. Next thing you know, I'm a little annoying, right? Because I'm like, you know what? Let's move this there to people that were not asking for my suggestions. And then since then, I just couldn't help myself. I took a deep dive into studies, and here we are.
Oh my gosh, that's just so amazing. So how has it transformed your life? I mean, that's probably a big conversation, but maybe you can
Yeah.
touch on how you know it's been how you know that it's helping people or helping you.
Yeah, this is such a great question because at first, like I said, it's like put this there and that there and see what happens. Well, some of it's very basic stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
some of it is so intuitive. We're already doing it, correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that whole put your largest, tallest, most healthiest plant in your left hand back area of your home so that you can have more wealth and more prosperity. I mean, it's like, okay, where's the back corner? So you start seeing that, doing that, and trying it out. That's wonderful, and it's more like indulgent in a certain way, or it's interesting, right? How can I
Mm-hmm.
place some things in my favor? Well, the next level is how can I invite, really, truly, intentionally invite high level prosperity, abundance, and auspicious positive energy into my life, not just in my front door. Yes, I don't want
Mm-hmm.
dirt tracking in and out, and no, I don't want clutter around. That's very true. But how can I truly invite wellness, positive energy, personal power, clarity, abundance into my life? Well, we can move around the furniture, and it's
Mm-hmm.
true. It is extremely important to be powerfully placed in many, many ways. And there are so many schools of information. But when I was really I had low energy, I had deep depression at a certain point in time, which was lengthy. It was
Mm-hmm.
lengthy, and nothing really worked. I'm very much holistic. So it wasn't that I could just take what they told me to take and then voila, I'm all better. And I think there are probably a number of others that know that this isn't true, where I was really looking at and I saw that Feng Shui study, and I
Mm-hmm.
thought, I'm going to go learn more about this just because I needed to uplift my heart,
Mm-hmm.
and I was interested. So when I did that, I started to learn that there are more to it than the seen. It's the unseen that is probably also hanging around in our home.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the unseen, put a plant here, put a thing here, move this out of the way. It helps to open up the pathway for unseen energy to come in. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
we want it to be materialized into seen, right? Unseen
Mm-hmm.
fortune. We want it
Mm-hmm.
to be seen in our bank account, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it was really the moment where I listened to Karen Kingston. I read her book. It wasn't listening back then. There was no
Audible.
true internet or,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But I read her book and I thought, I'm going to go to Bali and learn about this. So it was about creating sacred space
Mm-hmm.
and clearing dense energy.
Mm.
Somehow I just knew. So I made it all work out, went to Bali, got a bell, and started to learn how to clear energy. Right. And it was just something natural and innate. I felt uplifted. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I was doing other things. I was getting rid of sugar out of my diet. I was learning how to not indulge in low level information on TV. I
Mm-hmm.
was changing my thought patterns and beliefs, those types of things, of course, taking care of my body in a different way. But it was my home that was really where I would find, I could see if I was in low energy patterns
Mm-hmm.
or if I was in uplifted energy patterns. We
Right.
can
And
all look around and check it out. Am I in low energy? Do I have stuff everywhere just untended and lagging and it's draining me? Or do I have light energy all around me with freshness and things in flow?
well, and we can feel it when you're in that energy space, but for so many people, they don't realize because you're just not aware. Maybe it's habits of thought, habits around your house, just daily habits. We get into autopilot, right? And then we find ourselves in a place where we're just not feeling good for whatever reason. And you just don't know what it is. Is it something I ate? Is it something you said? Is it something I thought? Is it something whatever? But just, I think, what makes sense is that you went on a journey that resonated with you, and that speaks volumes too, right? And
Right.
so when you are listening to your intuition, you're going to be guided to the things that are going to make the difference in your life. So maybe that's when all of a sudden you had the thought to, oh, maybe I'll just eat a little bit better. I'll stop watching that TV show, right? But if you aren't on this kind of awareness journey of trying to look around and see what's causing maybe not serving you, and then trying to eliminate those things, that's when all of a sudden you can start noticing the good that can be allowed in. So I love that.
And also, with that said, it's more like, no, I didn't think I was eating poorly. I had
Mm.
no idea. So
Mm-hmm.
a doctor said, take this out of your life. And it took years for me to overcome certain things that I didn't know were draining me.
Mm.
Imagine that's seen and easily, we don't know what we're doing, that we're sort of, like you said, when we really tap into our own heart and our intuition, what are we supposed to do? And it's been told to us, we've been programmed what we're
Yeah.
supposed to do. That's where it's like, well, wait a second, what do I really want to do? And utilizing the space around you as noticing symptoms, like, oh, unchecked mail, stacks of this, untended that, plants that are not so happy and thriving. Well, that's all representative of our mind, right? Like you were saying, what our
Yeah.
intentions are. It's affecting our body, which is showing, right? If we're in pain, if we
Yeah.
can't sleep, if our fit self. And then it's like, oh, this is what it looks like when I'm in this mind body condition or state.
Wow. So as I'm looking at this piles of stacked papers on my desk, what is that saying about me? That I'm like, I need to declutter and then I can open up some space?
It could say I'm stressed when I'm done working because I have so much that I need to tend to. It could
Hmm.
say, look at all this abundance and I'm in creation mode. So it's not always
Mm.
a negative, right? We
Okay.
have to know that, like, a lot of times it's like, oh, I've heard this many times. I don't want to hear about Feng Shui because I don't want to know what I'm doing wrong, right? I don't
Mm.
want to get that I can't change it, that type of thing. And it's really like, there's so much positive. That's the
Hmm.
part, that fear factor. It's like,
Hmm.
let's look at what's already working, what's in flow. But I have to tell you, it wasn't the end all when I went to Bali and learned. This was in 2006, a long time ago. I know Bali's a different place now,
Yeah.
um, where I learned that. It was fabulous information. But it was when I met Marie Diamond. That's when my trajectory expanded and it just became more definite. And
So
that was
who's
when I
Marie
learned.
Diamond?
Marie Diamond is a master teacher healer of not only feng shui, but energy clearing and
Hmm.
healing. And I saw her in person, but she's the feng shui expert on The Secret,
Oh, right,
the
right,
movie, this
right.
in the
Oh,
book, The
right.
Secret.
Yes.
So I met her and she was talking about wonderful things that I aligned with, but there was a strong pull to go see her in person and
Hmm.
ask if I could possibly work with her, maybe like study with her studies.
Hmm.
She says, absolutely, look at my website, was back then. It's just so simplistic, right? But I
Yeah.
knew. So I said, okay. So the whole point of our conversation is how to get more in touch with your inner knowing and
Hmm.
how to be able to have easy flow in your life so that you can
Hmm.
stay connected, right? Mind,
Hmm.
body, knowing, and then no obstacles. Where are the obstacles? Maybe they're inside your house. So Marie Diamond is a master teacher, but what I didn't know, what I learned from her is some light work, inner diamond work, how to clear energy on the inside for you so that you can go about the world without being barraged with so much energy or draining energy. I didn't realize that the energy I was interacting with, the depression, the heaviness, wasn't all mine. It was not
Mm.
all mine. There's a lot of energy around and we just absorb it. We're magnetic. So
Hmm.
we pull in energy and then we think it's ours and there's something to, um, fix all the time. Where
Right.
really space clearing is interior, internal, mind and body, as well
Hmm.
as external. So what I learned from her is how to use light frequency energy for
Mm.
light frequency clearing. So that's something that I use all the time. I use it very, 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 very regularly for all of these years. It's been
Wow.
nearly 20 years of just this light frequency energy, which is available to all of us, light spectrum energy.
Hmm.
But what I didn't know is that she was a master teacher of something I had been curious about for a long time, and it's called dowsing, right? So there's dowsing, people that use a pendulum for dowsing, or the old school was divining, right? Divining for water, dowsing for water back in the old times, right? We were
Mm.
looking, we'd use that stick from the tree and find where water was. I don't know if you've heard of this.
Oh, yeah, I heard about
But
that.
I had the rods. I was playing with them all the time, and I wished I knew more. And would you not know, she teaches diamond dowsing. And I thought, thank you. So I went on a long, deep study with her, clearing electromagnetic, interruptive energy fields,
Wow.
clearing geopathic stress waves that are naturally occurring from the earth. Let's say
Hmm.
you're on a fault line and you
Yeah.
didn't know that, but your house has this space in it that you just don't feel well or you just can't get to, or it's just dense with stuff, because
Hmm.
these are all symptoms. right? These are all symptoms
Right.
that the house is telling us, the energy in our home is telling us. So when I learned how to douse and clear quite specifically, beyond the unseen, it's the unseen, but you're literally changing it with copper rods and placing things. That's when everything changed for myself and my family.
Wow. So give me specific examples. Like everybody, yeah, I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Perfect.
So,
So here's what it was like. Um, my house and I had a love-hate relationship, right? It was like it was a great home, it was great land, and we made it a beautiful oasis. But I was like, but I kept hitting a wall I kept feeling I needed to rearrange everything. I needed to ground it in a certain way. I used all my skills and tools, and I still was just on edge like a cat on a tin roof, right? Or whatever that saying is. And when I learned that, oh, dowsing these electromagnetic fields and looking for interference from man made electronics, satellite waves, microwaves, cell towers. This is when cell towers were really just starting to be put up.
mhm.
When I cleared that, I felt like I could breathe. I had room.
Mm.
I had uh, I was less anxious. Like my own electromagnetic field, my ability to rest in the
Mhm.
moment became much more strong. But really, okay, here's a very specific example. Um, I'm putting the golden arrow for this energy to go here. I'm hanging a tassel over there. I'm putting a crystal, all of the cures in Feng Shui. And I was like, okay, these are all wonderful, but are they real? And yes,
Mhm.
they're helpful. But when you have a vein of energy coming across the earth
Mhm.
that could be going right through your home, you might see a crack in your driveway. You might see a crack in your cement or in the ground, literally. And so very easy to see that something gets out of shape or out of alignment, and there could be some cracks, obviously, in the ground. Well, when you take your rods and you're looking, you're like, oh, just absolutely lines up. There's a negative energy here or an impacting energy here, and there's this line here. Well, I'd clear that, clear that, clear this, and it would go away, and it was better and improved. Well, we had a tree in our backyard. It was a magnificent tree, but it was waning, right? It was
Mhm.
suffering. It was never working and growing. And my husband said, we're going to get rid of that tree. And I thought, gosh, I don't want to get rid of it. I want it to grow. So I'm sending it Reiki and I'm doing love and I'm doing all the things.
Mhm.
And I decide, I know, I'm going to douse. I'm going to go outside and do the thing. And I found a line of energy in the backyard. And it was, wouldn't you know it, it was going directly into the tree toward the house.
Yeah.
But from the side I wasn't looking at in the tree. On the tree, it was a huge like a scar, when you see a
Yeah.
scarred tree. So I cleared that energy. I just put a copper rod across it. The energy was broken and the tree absolutely exploded. It was alive.
Wow. Is it something that you need to clear every day, or is it something you did once and then you fixed
I
the
did it
tree?
once. I did it
Wow.
once. It's like so if it was like let's say that you're grounding electronics in your
Hmm.
home.
Hmm.
This is going to be such a rough example, but if you put something to ground it, it stops. It's not going
Right.
to, right? It's not going to shock you or have energy
Yes.
after you put that copper grounding right there. So the
Yes.
energy it's unseen flowing energy. It stopped at that copper rod that I placed it in and created an opening for the rest of the space that went through our
Right.
home. But this time I included it in the yard. So that was
Nice.
magnificent. Well, I go around the front of the house and I'm seeing all these lines of energy coming forward through the front of the house.
Yeah.
And I always felt like it was kind of a bowling alley lane from my garage door into my living room, into my kitchen, and right at my sink where I was kind of, interacting with a lot of energy flow. Thought it was just simple and basic. Well, there's a line of energy, another line of energy, geopathic stress coming toward me through this spot,
Hmm.
several, like maybe 7 or 8 lines. So I'm clearing them on my property.
Yeah.
And I just wanted, and this was when I was like, oh, this helps us open our gaze, right? Because right then I look up and I see across the street from that doorway, right
Yeah.
across my own street is one of those big blue boxes that my two kids are sitting on with their roller skates, having a popsicle that's been there forever. It's one of those big electrical boxes for the
Oh,
neighborhood.
right.
And I'm like, no wonder. It's right. It's coming right toward my house.
Right.
So clearing that was like, oh, that was when I started to discover I have high sensitivity,
Right.
right? Not everyone is affected.
Did you notice a
So
difference in your family? Did your family feel the
my
difference?
daughter immediately started to prosper because she's highly sensitive. I didn't know those words back then.
Yeah.
And so she was highly sensitive. And so when I cleared that, I used several rods, cleared that at my perimeter of my driveway. Yeah,
Hmm.
there were cracks, and you could see that it makes sense that it was right there in
Hmm.
certain, under certain lenses. And she was much better. But it was when my son came up to me and said, "It feels better here,"
Oh,
and
how old
walked
was he at
away.
the
And
time?
I went to say something. He was 9. He might have been
Oh,
10, in that
yeah.
pre-adolescent. And I went to say something. He said, "Don't say anything." I said, "Okay."
He
Because it
was,
was like in other words, he actually communicated his
yes,
feelings and observation. And
yes,
it was bigger than, "Hey, mom, can I talk to you?" Or guess what? It
yes.
was like, "It feels different here. It's better
Yeah.
here." Yeah.
Wow. So
So we all
you,
settled down.
yeah. And do you have to do this clearing in person? It sounds like you have to be
Great
there.
question. Great question. It's very effective in person
Hmm.
because you can instantly watch a person shift
Hmm.
or even say, "Aha, I
Hmm.
just had a thought," because now it's opening up your ability to have a
Hmm.
bigger range of energy within yourself.
Hmm.
But it is possible to do it at a distance. I was thinking about this the other day. There are other feng shui experts, and Marie Diamond has many people in her school
Hmm.
of teaching. I haven't studied with her in a very long time, but I know that we did learn to do it remotely, right?
Hmm.
Well, now much work is done remotely. We can do so many things. Energy doesn't know space and time.
Hmm.
So if you have the person on the other end um, available to do the work with you, then yes, you could dowse um, remotely. I use different technologies now
Hmm.
for remote space clearing.
So this would be for anyone who is feeling like they are just not feeling. I mean, do they know that they have EMF sensitivity
No,
or okay.
it could
So
show up as so
what
many
are the
different things.
symptoms that they would maybe be feeling to know that maybe this could help them?
Mm-hmm. Great question. I had a gentleman who had a backache all the time. He had a
Hmm.
backache. He was going for back surgery. It didn't quite help him. I said, "Can I douse your space? And or can I just come and check it out?" And actually that's against the rules. You don't ask if you can
Yeah.
share, but he's a friend, right? And I was like, "Listen, let's look at your surroundings
Yeah.
because it's his structural, it's his, it's
Hmm.
mechanical, it's his body. Let's just check it out and see if it might be something beyond what you can see." And he's
Hmm.
like, "Okay, Val, I'd love for anything." I'm like, "Okay."
Right.
Um, so I go to his office, not his home, his office. And because here's why, because he was having inner office difficulties with another party. So they were
Hmm.
having friction. They were
Hmm.
having um, discord, right? He was
Hmm.
suffering at work, is what we'll call it.
Hmm.
So I went in and I said, "Let's see if there's some relationship lines that we can clear." So we go, I'm dowsing just in his little office.
Yeah.
And I find a pathway that we can clear naturally occurring. I find some interference we clear. And then I see that I said, "How do you feel when you're in this spot particularly?" He says, "Oh my gosh, I'm so exhausted. I sit down at my desk and I actually put my head down and I just feel like I'm falling asleep." The word falling is the key word here
Yeah.
because he was draining. He was being pulled down to the ground, right? He was
Wow.
so exhausted and he
Yeah.
thought it was this person interfering with him. And I said, because I had found a negative type vortex, a draining energy, like a
Wow.
downward moving spiral,
Yeah.
which in a home, you might see it as a sagging roof line, or you
Oh,
might see it as a part of the foundation that's sinking, right?
yeah.
You find it a smaller version of it as a room that just can't seem to not have a bunch of junk in it.
Mm.
In another person's home, I found it was where the cat box was, right? It was just like not positive chi. It was draining energy. So in his office, I said, let's just see and clear this up with the dowsing rods and see if we can stop the drain, which we did immediately. And I got to tell you, the light changed. It was as if a cloud had moved away from the sun, which
Mm-hmm.
it could have
Mm-hmm.
out the window. Um, and it just felt brighter, right? It wasn't so
And he noticed the
dark
difference.
and heavy. Instantly, he was like, well, that's a coincidence that the sun is shining better right now. The inner office friction
Uh-huh.
dissolved instantly.
Wow.
He didn't, they didn't, they were besties. There was no problem anymore. His
Wow.
back did improve, but not to, he was very affixed with the back
Yeah.
being physical, which we never know. We never know.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you didn't get an opportunity to do his home.
I didn't do his home. I didn't do his home because he didn't need it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a certain amount of mind. Some people are very open because in my case, I needed to be, I wanted resolution in ways that supported me, and the typical track was not. It was actually, I was feeling worse and worse and worse. So
Mm-hmm.
alternative track
Mm-hmm.
was my natural way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody is in that mind space. A lot of
Right.
people are.
Right.
um, Perhaps they just have a more of an affinity to how things are affecting them.
Well, I think if you're sensitive, then you
Mm-hmm.
probably can tell the difference more. If you're not sensitive, it seems like if you've tried everything, you've just tried everything and done everything, and then you're like, this still is a problem, and I know it shouldn't be a problem. What else can I try? And
Right.
then they run,
Exactly.
they run into you, and you're like, okay, why not? But not because I believe in it,
Exactly.
just because let's just try it.
Right. Because
Yeah.
it's the end of the road. It's like, I need to
Mm-hmm.
try something. And that's
Mm-hmm.
usually the breakthrough,
Mm-hmm.
moment for people that have a specific mindset and then they get to open their mind a bit. It's a wonderful thing. And then there are the others where it's the first choice because it just makes more sense. It's more effective more immediately.
So I have a question for you because we did just before we started recording. I was telling you about how I was talking to a real estate agent who was all excited about being a holistic realtor. She wanted to learn more about that from me, and she was saying, I understand wellness, and she listed off like 5 different things that wellness is all about. And I said, well, that's great because wellness is kind of thriving in every sort of industry now. But when I think of wellness real estate, I think of the home being the body, not necessarily the body, right? So how can we
Mm-hmm.
get better water filtration? How can we get better indoor air quality? How can we make it a calm, inviting environment and just make it a place where it's more supportive of health? And then that could be kind of one component for the body to become healthier. So I'm interested in knowing kind of your thoughts about that and how you said you do the energy clearing. Do you do it separately for the body and also for the home?
Great question.
Yeah.
Great question. Because that's such the question. Because
Right.
it's like, let's go specifically for how you feel, what you're thinking, your physicality. Okay, let's go there. And
Yeah.
then, when you're like, I've done enough of this inner work, it's so much, right?
Yeah.
It's like, then it's like, okay, let's go underneath the sink.
Yeah.
It's the similar thing. It's a similar
Yeah.
thing. Now, how does that translate? I had a skeptic years ago who was like, I don't know, Val. I just am looking for more clientele. She's a personal trainer. And
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay, how's that junk drawer in your kitchen? Right. And she's
Mm-hmm.
like, doesn't, I want to talk about clientele. And I said, okay, just go ahead and clear that out and let me know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so she calls me. She's like, okay, is this a joke? I cleared out, I put some things in order, and I had my phone ring for a new clientele business. So it can translate that fast,
Oh,
right? Where
wow.
it's like, how does it happen? But in my perspective, Um, Personally, it's a requirement. If I'm a flower, I need certain lighting, right? Some flowers need extreme sunshine. Some flowers need diffuse lighting. Some flowers need, right, morning light, not late day extreme light. So I am a flower. We're living, breathing, organic beings, and so we need certain amounts of light, certain amounts of, like you said, fresh air. This is a big deal for me because we simplify. We're so simple as humans. We've gotten so complex as a person on the planet, as a society, but as a human being, we're very simple. We need fresh water, we need fresh air, which means movement. We need to think fresh thoughts. At least we prosper when we have these things. Now, when I'm sitting in meditation, well, if I'm sitting in meditation in the hallway, in the kitchen area near a bathroom, and people are walking by me, and I'm interrupted, and I feel like I'm inconveniencing them, and they are feeling like they're interrupting me, there's friction there, and we're creating dense difficulty, right? We're not properly placed in our home. So what we want to do, it's naturally, common thought. We want to create a space that's more appropriate, right? Maybe a little sanctuary spot, or maybe it's called your office, your bedroom, your spot, that you can be yourself in. And we've done that in design. We might do it and we might not do it. We might design something that's very much generally healthy and well, hopefully. And then we add things in that are healthy and well as a lifestyle, hopefully. But where's the person, this person that's in this home? Are they properly placed for their personal intent, for their personal needs, whether it's to be an outdoorsy, an indoorsy, whatever it is? That's one layer. The other layer is, as a yogi, I've brought in meditation, if you don't have that quiet space for quieting your body systems, your mind systems, because your space is not a potential for quieting, then you have a lot of chatter, right? You have a lot of noise, you have a lot of interruption. So in my mind, one day I was in meditation. I've taught yoga since 2001. I'm a restorative beginner specialist, how to rest well so that you can be well rested, right? And energized. And there's a long little backstory on that. I'm not going to go there now. And I have to go there. So as a high achiever, we don't think we can rest. We think we have to go, 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 and we have to go. So would you have a sectional couch with a lounge area that you can maybe roll a mat out and do some stretching and then sit quietly and put a juice bar in your home? No, you're not going to do that. You might aesthetically, but are you going to utilize it? So after years of being in pain and just having to lay down a lot, I thought it was ironic years later that, hey, I teach people how to lay down in Shavasana and rest and be in peace. Right. So anyway, I had this awareness that if our body is the temple of the soul, it houses the soul. That makes sense. We can go there. But I kept seeing this house. Our house is the body that houses the body, which houses the soul. Right? So our home is that temple that takes care of the body. We know this simplistically, but is it taking care of you? Are your intentions being supported through your home placement and the way you utilize your home, the way you flow in and out of your home? But then next level was, there's this download of the energy levels of the home that match the energy levels within the body. So the chakra system itself.
Oh, right. You've got to talk about that because you just briefly mentioned that the home has chakras. Tell me more.
So this is something that I talk with my one-on-one clients, the people that are really wanting grounding, right? Root chakra, we need safety, right? We require it so our nervous system can rest. So there it's placed in the home in a certain way. There is the heart chakra. Well, there are a few places that are laid out in the home that are the heart of the home, right? It's your kitchen and stove and kitchen, right? Or your hearth, your fireplace are hearts of the home. There are other areas that are hearts of the home, and then expanding that heart space in different ways is a really interesting way of looking at how your home is enhancing your, not only your health and your wealth potential and your loving relationship potential, but literally your soul. How is this one supporting the other?
I love that.
That whole giving out and being this energetic being is our body. It's a lot of output, right? And what about receiving it back? We're receiving it from our home space as well as nature itself. Yeah.
Right. And
we can go on and on and on about the chakra
I know
system,
it's just so interesting to me, and I love it. And I feel like this is all work that you can, I mean, I can see how you can do it in person, but again, you can do this kind of work remotely.
Well, exactly. I wanted to circle back to, can we clear the home, or is it the body, or which is it? So on a regular basis, it's so, and another time you said, do you have to do this every day? What's the recommendation here? Well, there's a time, there's a time to clear space. For instance, I have a busy schedule. I'm working here today. I'm going to do I'm teaching yoga for grounding at a retreat, an abundance retreat this afternoon. All of these things. So what did I do to ground my energy? I cleared my countertops. Right? I put some things away. Sounds natural, but it really is like this flow of like having a certain sense of order helps us to feel centered. So that's the inner and outer. When do you do it? That's the simplified answer, right? Space clearing. Okay, take a shower, clean your laundry. This is space clearing in its most basic form. Next levels, I do a group a few times a month. We get together for energy balancing, energy clearing, and then, of course, clearing mind and body. If you wanted to clear the space in your home as a one-on-one, how often? It's either seasonally is really, really lovely. A lot of people do it once a year because that's their tradition. They know that it's out with the old, in with the new. Other people do it randomly because they might think life is giving them a little bit of difficulty. Some curveballs have been coming in. So let's see if we can do a space clearing. That's a frame of mind that's a little more negative based. Like, oh, something negative must have happened. I need to clear that away, which
it's reactive,
is a nice
right?
thing to do.
Yeah.
Right. And then I love let's clear all the time, right? Let's clear when you're feeling sallow, when you're going through changes. Let's say you did a home improvement and you had a lot of people coming in and out, or you literally changed the fascia of your home in some way. Yes, clear and reset the energy.
So when people work with you, do you teach them how to clear themselves?
I actually do. I do it by facilitating and repetition, and facilitating repetition, question answering. And then what we're doing is creating ritual, or I call it sacred self-care, right?
Yeah.
So we do mind, we do body, we do spatial, and then pretty soon it's like, isn't this a nice lifestyle, right? How did I carve out that time for myself?
And it's intentional is what I love, right? You're teaching people to be more intentional about their home environment and about their body so that they can bring about the things that they want instead of feeling like things are happening to them, right?
Right.
And not understanding, what it is that they need to fix, right?
Yes. So instead of having to fix everything and get more and more and more layers, it's more like, how can I clear all of these excessive layers and be my most radiantly empowered version of myself through clarity? And so, like you said, clarity of intention.
Then touch a little bit more on the light clearing. So do you have a physical light?
Oh, I'm so excited you asked. So the light energy, the light spectrum energy clearing, I do have that downloaded in a short audio. So I would be happy to give that to all the listeners. It's a simple, it's omvalerie.com/gift. So I'll send you that link. It's a short audio, and it gives you the very specific example of a light clearing and which creates boundaries. Here's the true story that I was in a gym working out. My husband's not a sensitive person. He's a wonderful person, but he doesn't have my sensitivity, right? Male, female, right?
Yeah.
A little more intuitive, a little more action based.
Yes.
So I was in the gym and I was just overwhelmed, right? It's like the TVs are on, the people, the running, the this and that. And I thought, I don't know if I could stay here that long. So before I had all this new 2020 plus language, I was just exhausted. I don't know if I can make it, overwhelmed. He said, I think you're going to be okay. And I thought, I'm going to run the Marie Diamond energy, inner diamond work and use some light spectrum energy. And I tell you, I was fantastic. I was resilient. I was right there. I was perfect. I was absolutely able to do it all. And that's when I realized, oh, this isn't just inside my house indulgence.
Yeah.
This is out in the world capability. So now I have a field of energy that I can go places in.
Nice.
So that's very important. So that is the one thing. But more current, in the last couple of years, I've learned and I practice and study what's called light body alignment. And light body alignment is a magnificent and instantaneous healing tool, which I'm happy to give you a little sample of right now, if you'd like it.
I would love it.
The creator, his name is Barry Akatel of the Vision School. He does light body alignment trainings. He does mentoring at many, many levels. And in each of his mentoring courses, we do this modality. So is there anything that is kind of basic? We can go deep, but for now, as a demonstration for everybody listening, this will also help you if you would like it. This is permission based. So if you say, no, I don't want that, I'm just listening, great, it'll bypass you. But if you say, I want to maybe do this, even if you say it retrospectively after you hear this, you can say, I wanted that, then it'll come your way. No space and time, so it's doesn't expire.
Yeah.
So is there something that you would like to, that you feel you might have an obstacle around, or that you might want to improve?
Well, we're going to be moving soon, and I do have a whole bunch of accumulated things, and realizing that I have storage units and I have things I'm not, haven't let go of. Right. And I think it's because my kids are all, now we're about to be empty nesters. Right. So I'm realizing like I haven't let go of a lot of things. And even though we've moved several times, I keep carrying my junk with me. And so I'm intentionally wanting to let go of those sorts of things. And, and I want to feel lighter, and I want to heal. I'm on a healing journey too. Right. And I feel like I'm almost over the hump. Right. And then what's the last thing that I can not necessarily try or do, but just how can I allow that healing that I know is coming to me? And so that's, without diving deep.
So what I'm gonna say is that staying grounded and healthy and well, like creating an authentic, lighter, healthy and well living space. Right. So that's like, what is there any blocks or sabotages in moving forward? We'll just call that.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So here's how it works. With your permission, I'm going to just kind of tap into your energy field a little bit. Thank you. And this is light work, right? There are many levels of light work. What is it? Well, it's bringing in more light, removing density or weightiness or heaviness or blocks or drains or sabotages in our field, in our body. It translates in our body. Our body then prospers, right? It's like clearing that electromagnetic field or that geopathic stress for that tree. It was blocking and sort of sabotaging it. Once we cleared that, it prospered because it was healthy, right? It had the ability to be healthy. So we're talking about healthy spaces inside and out. So I'm going to take out of 1,000 pre-made statements that are very articulate, we're going to see which one applies to you. Now, if we were doing one-on-one work, I would be able to hear what might be blocking you in a certain way. And we could create a very custom statement that would apply. But it's fun to find the statement that comes up. So we'll do that. Just give me a second. Okay. And this is for everybody out there that this may apply to in your own way. And this statement is, I quest beyond my five senses.
Yes.
Right? I quest beyond my five senses. Would you say that that kind of, does that apply to you in this
Yeah, I
sense?
mean, to me, that means that I'm wanting to find that sixth sense, right? I'm wanting to become more intuitive and to not just need to see it in the physical, taste it, touch it, and I'll use my five senses. I want to be more tapped into the energy, and I want to, is that what that means?
I think that's very spot on. And I'm seeing that there's a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of themes from the past that are maybe our treasures, because I totally get that, but have piled up. And so we're going to clear that. And you can feel it right here, right?
Yeah.
So we're just going to clear this up nicely and quickly and instantly. And what I'm going to ask you to do is say the statement. Actually, I was needing you to say it before, but say, I quest beyond my five senses.
I quest beyond my five senses.
Yeah. And how does that feel to you now?
Good.
Yeah, right? Does it feel a little more capable?
Do I need to repeat it over and over? I feel like I can make
No,
it my
you don't.
mantra.
You can say it one more time. I quest beyond my five senses.
I quest beyond my five senses.
It's feeling pretty strong though. So there's no need to convince yourself of it.
Right.
The obstacle there is dissolved. It's cleaned up.
Okay.
So let's try one more.
Okay.
Let's try one more to see if there's any more. $35. Let's see. Because we have layers and layers.
So what are you doing right now?
I'm calibrating to see I'm muscle testing to see which of the statements. And this is the statement. I love it. I love it when it's so synergistic, and so, it's always a surprise. So say the statement, I breeze through life.
I breeze through life.
Okay, say it one more time.
I breeze through life.
Yeah. So there's a little drain on that. Little drain.
Is it because I'm not believing it?
Well, you know what? We want to believe it, or we could actually believe it. But there could be a drain or a block in the way. And we want to breeze through life. We're trying to breeze through life. We feel like we're mostly breathing. So we're just making it breezier.
Yeah.
Breezier. I want to clear that up. Yeah. Little root chakra stuff, right? Little second chakra. Okay, saying the statement, I breeze through life.
I breeze through life. I breeze through life.
Do you feel a difference?
I felt like my legs just were tense and then they dropped a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's the whole goal, is to breeze through life, right? And feel joy and feel good.
And to feel like that rootedness without all that tension, and to feel safe. That was that root chakra stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Amazing.
Really nice. So that's where it's that less, we have this mind stuff going on about our home, where we're creating, moving forward, the changes in our lives, the things we've accumulated thus far, and how does it affect us? It's our home, our mind, our body, all in one, right? And our home, or those satellites of our home extension, affect our body. We're storing it all. Yeah. We're storing all of our experiences, all of our thoughts, and our stuff in the cells of our body. And so once we allow ourselves to release and let go, or process and digest,
Mm-hmm.
right? And eliminate, assimilate and eliminate,
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden we feel this freedom. And so, yes, mind, body, and home all are in one package.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Valerie. This was such a great conversation. For anyone who wants to learn more or get the free gift that you have again, can you tell us a little bit how to do that?
Yes, I'd love that. So the free gift is at omvalerie.com/gift. So
Okay. And
omvalerie.com
what do they get with that
slash
gift?
gift. And so the gift is a 7-minute audio. It's a calming, grounding, and cleansing light spectrum energy clearing. So it's like a visualization, you would call it, but it's clearing your space, your energy.
I love it. And since you help people, I mean, you're in San Diego, right?
I am.
But if anybody's listening and they're not in San Diego, they can still work with you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I work mostly with people that are not in my area. That was the whole design since 2009 and 10 is to be able to work remotely with people on the go because I'm on the go.
Right.
As well as restorative yoga. If you have any questions or you want to be in contact, definitely. I offer a 20-minute conversation. If you want a sample of your own light body alignment clearing, then I'm happy to have you get on my calendar. So I'll send you the Calendarly link so people can reach out to me.
Great. I'll put those in the show notes. Okay. Thank you so much. I so appreciate our conversation.
Me too. It was a pleasure, Sheila. I can't wait to talk to you again.
Okay. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I hope you found something that will help you and your family live the well life. I'm on a mission to bring holistic health and home together. And so I'm busy doing all sorts of things. If you want to learn more, check me out. Head on over to SheilaAlston.com. That's SheilaAlston.com. Together we're making the world a healthier place, one home at a time.